Hello everyone, this is Victoria Bonaquista, and we are on Proverbs Chapter 3 of our Proverbs a Day challenge for the month of October. We're going to read the word in its entirety and then break down the verses and get a really good, firm understanding of what God was directing Solomon to teach us in the Proverbs. So let's go ahead and get started. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days, long life, and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the tablet of thine heart. For shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man? Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are the ways of plenteousness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is every one that retaineth her. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall thy be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in the way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked, when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, Go, and come again, and tomorrow I will give. Then thou hast it by thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with a man without cause, if he hath done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the forward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but the blessed the inhabitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. So someone made a comment the other day, and it really stuck out to me. They said, whenever the Bible repeats itself on something, you know it's really important. Well, so far we've had 3 chapters that pretty much repeat themselves. I mean, it's different, but it's very much the same. And even down to the lines like with 2 is, my son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee. And then 3 starts, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. He's trying so hard to get this across because it's showing how important it is. And so that really stuck with me, and I've been noticing it so far as we've been going through Proverbs. For the length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. There are definitely times of strife and times of turmoil, but God says if we have wisdom, then we're going to have peace. And it's, I believe, the peace that passes understanding, the peace that when the whole world's falling apart, we can smile and love Jesus. And that's the peace that he's talking about. I love this part. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. So this is a beautiful example that when we trust in God with everything, we can't lean on ourselves. We have to give ourselves wholly over to God. God is trying to share, I need you to lean on me, so that way I can make your path good. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So thy barns shall be filled with plenty, and the presses shall burst out with new wine. For those of you who don't know, when you're tithing, you give a tithe to the church, that's the 10%, and then you have an offering, and that is a good faith or a stewardship offering where you're saying, God, I'm investing this money into you, and I'm asking that you will return blessings unto me. And then there's the first fruits. And the first fruits, a long time ago, it used to be the first fruit that grew on the tree for the year. That money, like the money that was collected from selling the first fruit, was given to the Lord. And when you gave the first fruits to the Lord, he would in turn give you blessings and let your fruits be multiplied, and your storehouses will be full. So it's a very good practice, and I don't know if any of you are in this practice or not. It can be hard because you're working so hard for your finances to just give away the first. You know, maybe you give an extra portion of your first paycheck of the year, you know, or some people can maybe do a first fruit every month, and part of the first paycheck of the month, they give a portion of that. That could be first fruits. So it's really whatever God is communicating with you about and is leading you to give. But it is an incredible practice, and I've seen it work so many miracles and have such a blessing in people's lives where they've trusted God with their finances, and God in return trusted them with blessings. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof of fine gold. Again, it's so similar to the chapter before. He's just reiterating the importance of wisdom is like getting a collection of jewels and rubies and precious stones. So he's basically saying the same thing as the chapter before. And I think that's really, again, an example of how important this is. You know, we think, oh, I'll just gain wisdom. No, gaining wisdom is like becoming a millionaire. If you are intelligent enough to gain the wisdom that God is trying to give you in the Bible, you are going to be successful, because what he's trying to show you is that wisdom is more important than earthly wealth and earthly riches, because ultimately all of those things are going to die, and we're either going to go to heaven or we're going to go to hell. Those are the only two options. And if you knew Jesus Christ and you're going to heaven, he's going to ask, how did you live your life on earth? And if you're like, well, I gained this much money and I did this and I did that, that means nothing to him. He wants to know, did you help bring souls to heaven? Did you help teach others his ways? Did you walk the path that he asked you to walk? Were you a good mother? Were you a good father to your children? Were you a good spouse? Those are the things that he cares about and is trying to tell us so importantly that we need to walk in those. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. So shall they be life unto thy soul and grace to thy neck. This is a hard one because people don't really talk like this anymore, but when he's saying grace to your neck, have you ever seen a lady with a beautiful necklace and she's just standing there and she's very graceful and elegant? That is what wisdom looks like to God. When he sees the wisdom that has graced us, it is elegant, stately. It is holding ourselves in a place of honor in his mind. Then shalt thou walk in the way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. So many times we're like, what is going to happen with the world? How are things going to play out? The desolation and the destruction of the world is not something that we should be putting our time and our focus into. We should be putting our time and our focus into trusting the Lord. And God is going to hold us true to the path. He's not going to let us stumble as long as we're looking towards Him and trusting in Him every day. Strive not with a man without cause, and if he have done thee no harm. So this is basically like, if someone hasn't done something bad to you, don't start a fight with them. We really want to know that wisdom is standing in what you believe, respectfully having conversation, and not putting yourself out there in strife. You can put yourself out there in conversation, you can put yourself out there in discussion, but it's when people are being hateful and spiteful, and they're running up to people and they're like, cursing them because they believe in God or whatever the situation is. It's so beautiful to see that God's like, don't do that. That is just going to be a place of evil in your heart. For the forward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but be blessed the inhabitants of the just. And so when you live in a home that is just and you are walking in righteousness, blessed are the people that live there with you. And I think that is so beautiful because it really creates an atmosphere in your home. And even if you're in your home and you're the only one walking justly, walking uprightly, it is still going to help create that atmosphere around you because you are standing up for what is just. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame shall be the promotion of fools. And a lot of times in our world today, we see very famous people and they're very foolish. They make very poor decisions and they have so much money, but they're genuinely not doing anything good with their money, and you wonder, what are they doing with their lives? Well, sadly, they're squandering their lives because unless they get radically saved and they come to the knowledge of Jesus Christ, this is all they're going to get. They're only going to get the life that's on this planet, because after this, if they do not have the saving grace of Jesus Christ, then they are only going to get torment. They are only going to get eternal torment. So God says they might be promoted, but they're fools. And you might not be promoted, but you're going to inherit glory. You get heaven in the end. And that is what makes it worth it. So again, that was a lot to unpack. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear. Go ahead and send me a note. I am just really excited about this month. It is turning out to be a beautiful fall. The leaves are changing right now, and it is just absolutely stunning. The weather's gorgeous. So we are just claiming this beautiful October for prosperity and wisdom, and I encourage you guys to walk in wisdom, to be wise, and in the words of our glorious Savior, go and sin no more.